How's it going, everybody? Ace from Ace Explorations, or actually known as Grim Reaper on Twitch. How are we doing today? Today I am going to incorporate another deck tech for my videos for all my subscribers. I know you guys are looking for some more Magic content, so we're here. I'm here to bring some more. Today I'm going to review another deck that's really cool. It's called Look Into His Eyes. We're going to go over a really cool commander that I like because I've been getting used to spell slinging. I like spell slinging. It's so much fun. So we're going to go into that, and we'll explain how the deck works and how you win with it. It's very fun. It's a pretty good budget for it. It's not too expensive. I mean, it's probably got a lot of commons and uncommons that you got laying around the house that you could incorporate into a deck to make this deck. So let's continue on and let's go for it and look into his eyes. All right, guys, let's get to that next screen. All right. Bam. All right, so we're going to move this to the side for now. All right, the deck is called Look Into His Eyes, and it's really cool. So the commander is Red Death, Shipwrecker. He has a ability. He's blue and a red, so this deck is called Is It. It's the color combination. It's red and blue. He has an ability called Alluring Eyes. You go target creature an opponent controls. That player draws a card, and I add red mana. So it's more of a get your big nasty creature away from me, but as compensation, I'll give you a card. So it's kind of interesting how I built this deck. It's sort of like an Is It politics, kind of. Like, I can give you a card if you don't swing at me. And that gives me sort of like ways to manipulate the board a little bit to that I can get to my win con faster and nobody's really paying attention to me because I only have a little 1/3 crab on the field, and he gives people cards, so not many people want to kill it because, you know, they get a free card draw on it, which is pretty nice. But we have ways to use that card draw to our advantage. So we got a couple of planeswalkers in this set. In this deck, it's very sweet. So we have Dak Faden. Dak Faden's freaking sweet. He's awesome. He gives me a lot of card draw, and I can steal an artifact if I want to steal an artifact. And the emblem is pretty cool, but I'm not really doing any spells that target creatures, right? I'm not targeting that many creatures most of the time. I'm here to generate card draw and potentially steal like a Soul Ring or something else to give me more mana and advantage. So that's why Dak Faden's in the deck. He gives me a lot of card draw per turn, and I can sift through my deck to find my win con. This is a mean card. If I want to play Narset Parter of Veils, I've given people so many cards, and at this point, I just want to win the game. So I can get all the card draw in my favor instead of them. He's pretty sweet. I mean, she's pretty sweet. She does a good job at shutting people down from drawing a lot of cards out of their deck. Especially if they play spells that let them draw a lot of cards. Narset's a good shutdown for that. Ral Crackling Wit. This is a new guy. He's pretty sweet. He's awesome. He's built for storming out, and this deck storms out a lot. So whenever a non-creature spell, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a loyalty counter on Crackling Wit. So like you can pump him up to 10 pretty quickly in this deck, and then once you get that emblem, all your instant and sorcery spells have storm, which is gross. But in the meantime, I could draw cards off of him, or I can create a blocker if I need a blocker for certain things. So he works out really well with the deck. Also, we have Rowan, Scholar of Sparks. She's also really good in this deck. She is a card reducer, so she reduces my instant sorceries down a lot, and her +1 ability is pretty sweet because I can do damage, and then her -4, which is also really sweet, I have a permanent copy spell by just paying 2 mana to keep copying cool instants and sorceries, and we got some bangers of instant sorceries in this deck. So creatures, we have a few good ones. So we got Archmage Emeritus. We only run an 11. But this deck's more spell slinging. We got a ton of instants and sorceries to combat all this lack of creatures. So we got Archmage Emeritus. He's just very good. His Magecraft ability allows me to get card draw per spell I cast, We have Ashling, the Flame Dancer. She's another way of doing a really awesome thing. She rewards you for every instant and sorcery you cast per turn. She gives you a card draw. She gives you 2 damage to the small weenie huts that you know, the token people keep creating. And then her last ability is you get 4 red mana. So it just gives you more mana. So Ashling is all auto-include in this deck. Very good. Same thing with Bergie, God of Storytelling. Bergie is so good. I don't use the second ability that much, but her first ability is just too good. Every time you cast a spell, you get a red pip of mana in your mana pool, which works great with Ashling because like you can go in your second main with all the red mana you bank up to cast something else. So it's pretty nice. Furkrag, he works insanely well with Red Death because he helps with goading. So you can keep making Furkrag bigger on every creature you goad, and draw cards off of him. So him and Red Death are like a super synergy, and it works really well. We got Keranos, God of Storms. He's pretty cool. He gives me extra cards to sift through my library, and it's a good indestructible enchantment that can just start some stuff or be a big old indestructible blocker, which is good. Ledger Shredder, he has that cool mechanic called Connive, so it lets me sift through my deck to figure out what I want to do. Every time when I cast my second spell, I can draw a card and discard a card and make him potentially a bigger blocker, which is really sweet. Or attacker, because he's a flyer, so he has evasion. We got Niv Mizzet in here. Niv Mizzet's really good considering all the card draw we do. He's just that good, and every time we cast an instant sorcery, we're still drawing cards, so he's a good return engine for that. We got Rao Monsoon Mage. This is a little bit of added chaos. He's really cool because if we cast a spell and we win a coin flip, we can flip him over into this guy, and he turns into Rao Leyline Prodigy, which is very good. Like he has a great ult. It says exile the top 8 cards of your library. You may cast an instant sorcery spells among them without paying their mana cost. So I could get a bunch of free spells to cast. I can get a free spell to cast with Ral if I ult him, which is nice. And then we can just keep doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Stormcatch Mentor. This is a Bloomburrow card. He's really cool. He has haste and prowess, and then he reduces he's also another reducer, which gives me, you know, reductions to all my spells, and I can keep casting, and I can make him bigger with prowess of each spell I cast, which is really sick. Same thing with another Bloomburrow include that I put in here, which is Storm Splitter. He's cool too. I can make tons of copies of this guy. He's a little 1/4 haster, and I can just send those little guys at him as I cast spells. So it keeps people in check, you know, if they want to keep starting stuff. So I can just keep throwing stuff at them. The cool thing with this creature is Thassa Deep Dwelling is I can get 2 goads per turn for me. So I could I'll cast Thassa Deep Dwelling, and then her final ability at the end of the end step, I can exile Red Death and bring him back. Which he enters untapped again. So I can tap to goad something to give me red mana and give somebody a card, and then I could tap the goad again on someone else's turn to make sure that anybody's got a big creature out on the board, we can stop that from hitting us, so we can get to our win con. It's pretty good bent on manipulating and making everybody else kill each other and not us. Some sorceries, we got some bangers. We got Chain Reaction. I have Chain Reaction as board wipe just because. Who knows? We need a board wipe if it gets too ridiculous. Our commander only costs two mana, so if we got a board wipe, we got a board wipe. Consuming Tide, it's a bounce. It'll bounce everything. That's another good one. Contentious Plan, it's really good for us because we get it's an instant or sorcery. It proliferates our planeswalkers and draws us a card. Those are 3 amazing things that we need for our deck. Our win con is Crackle with Power. So we're going to be digging through our deck to get Crackle with Power. That's our plan. That's how you win with this deck. You just hit the board with massive amounts of damage and win the game. Deep Analysis is very good for getting card draw and flashbacking it. We got Flame Rift, which is kind of funny. It's funny to use because like it would be fun to copy this about 3 or 4 times pretty interesting because you can copy spells and then just cast a Flame Rift for like 1 red mana, considering you have a reducer on the field. Be nuts. Galvanic Relay. This one's another great card. You could storm out, and then you can get some cards that are at the top of your library that you could possibly cast, and it just helps you sift through the library to get your win con. Grape Shot's funny because, like, if you can cast Grape Shot for a whole lot, it can do a lot of damage to something. It can get rid of like something really nasty on the field, or just get rid of a player if you've stormed out correctly. Mana Geyser's the piece to the win con. Mana Geyser's auto include in about every red spell slinging deck I got, because if we're casting big X spells, copying a Mana Geyser is just too good, right? Like, you can copy it twice and you win the game. Same thing with Mystic's Mastery. This is another great card. If you overload it, you can get free casts to storm out. That would be sick, especially if you have a 1,000-year storm on the field. You cast this for overload, and then you just storm off. It'll be crazy. Serum Visions is another good card. Draw a card, scry 2, so you can draw what you get. Draw your first card, and then see what's coming up, and you can get rid of those cards if they're in the way. Solve the Equation is good because it gets us our instant and sorcery that we need. It gets us our Mana Geyser. It gets us our Crackle with Power if we need to. All that stuff. Vandal Blast is another great auto include in the deck because you need to get rid of some artifact removal, especially if someone docksides. You can just blast all of it, right? You can just get rid of everything, which you don't want the opponent to have so much mana that you're kind of screwed. The instants, we have 25 of them. They're very good. We got a lot of good instants in here. Big Score, auto include. Big Score, I can't harp enough of how good this card really is. It just gives you ramp and 2 cards. It's pretty nice. Capsize is a good little bounce. It's fun to use. Counterspell, for obvious reasons. You might need some protection for your win con. Expedite's good. These are good storm spells that I'm labeling off here. You give a creature haste and you draw a card for 1 red. It's pretty good. Gets you set up to storm out. Faithless Salvaging, same thing. Discard a card, draw a card. You're going through your library, sifting through it to potentially get ready to storm out. Same thing with Frantic Search. You're just drawing 2 cards, getting rid of something, and untapping 3 lands to continue storming. Galvanic Iteration. It's a copy spell. We have a lot of copy spells in this deck. This is one of them. And you can flash back again from the graveyard to copy something else again, which is cool. High Tide is to give you a shit ton of mana, so you can just keep bombing everybody with something crazy. Invoke Calamity. I can't harp on it enough. Invoke Calamity is just so good. It's just a good card. It can give you cards out of your graveyard, recursion, to be honest, 4 mana if you have reducers out. You can cast two spells up to 6 mana cost from your hand or graveyard for 4 mana. It's really good. You get a lot of value out of that. Is it Charm? It's very good. It's just a good instant of interaction or drawing or anything, really. It's just good. Misdirection. This is a pretty interesting card. It's fun. It'll work against a counterspell because you can put that on the stack and make the counterspell counter this instead. It's pretty sweet, so that's really cool. Mystical Tutor, another way of getting our win con set up so we can get our Crackle with Power or our Mana Geyser. Or copy spell if you need it, like this one, Narset's Reversal, one of the best copy spells out there. It's pretty sweet. Like, you would cast this and copy a Mana Geyser, and then return that Mana Geyser back to your hand and then cast it again. So you can get like 3 or 4 different instances of Mana Geyser popping off with Narset's Reversal. It's very good. Negate. This is another just counterspell for obvious reasons. Get rid of like anything that gets rid of like a bounce or a board wipe or something crazy, right? That's in your way. You just got to get rid of something that could be potentially harmful to your win con. Opt is another great card. It's another storm card. It's very good. You need to have it. It's scry 1, draw a card, or you may shuffle. Pongify, removal, another storm card. Remove someone's big old nasty Voltron commander that's in the way. He makes a monkey, and you're ready to storm out some more. Reiterate, another copy spell, but a copy spell that could potentially go, I guess, infinite. You can go infinite with Mana Geyser with Reiterate. That could be a thing, and you could win the game that way. But usually, I just use it to cast, and then I can copy something, and then I can bring this card back, depending on what would happen. Return the Favor. This is a new card from Thunder Junction. This helps us get around abilities. It allows us to copy a spell, and we can basically deflecting swat somebody, which is really good. Snap, another removal card. We just get rid of something like either a huge token or a very huge creature like a Forgotten Ancient with like 30 counters on it. You can get rid of that thing, and that would be great. Same thing with Stifle. Like if you got a commander with like a really insane activated ability, you can stop that from happening. Stifle is a great card. It's very slept on. There's so many abilities these days. Stifle is a must include. This is a new card that I added to the deck. I think it would be kind of ridiculous if I could copy Mana Geyser 5 times. That would be absurd. So basically you just pay X plus the 3 mana to copy the next spell you cast that X amount of time. So you could copy Mana Geyser up to 5 times depending on how late in the game you are, to really just end the game quick. Like it would just be stupid. Another copy spell, Teach by Example. It's a versatile mana source. It could be either red or blue, depending on your mana base, what you got set up. And it's a 2-drop, copy spell. It's very good. Very good common to have in the deck. Thrill of Possibility. More draw. We're drawing cards like crazy in this deck. We are always drawing cards. Because you want to keep drawing to keep storming out to win. Twinferno. This is another cool card. It could be, it's mainly just a copy spell that I use because I'm not going to give a creature double strike. But it's a great, potentially 1 red mana source copy spell. It's very good. Valakut Awakening. This is another great card. This allows us to wheel ourselves to get more cards because we're around here to keep drawing cards. We're here to draw to our win con. That's what we want. So we're gonna do that. We got Arcane Signet, which is Arcane Signet. Need that. These are our mana rocks. Fire Diamond, Mind Stone gives us card draw. This card's new. I added to the deck. I kind of like it a lot because you could flash it on someone's end step. This is Mind Splice Apparatus. It gives you a counter that allows you to reduce your spells per amount of counters that's on it. So like if you cast that Proliferate spell, you could make your instants and sorceries that much cheaper to cast. Sky Diamond, that's another mana rock. Soul Ring, and Worn Power Stone. Those are all. It's all mana rocks besides Mind Splice Apparatus. Mind Splice Apparatus is very good. This is more of a group huggy card right here. This is what to keep people distracted from hitting us, which is Dictate of Krufix. You can flash it in on someone's end step, and each player will get an additional card draw. Everybody's getting more cards, so if people get more cards, they leave you alone. Font of Magic. This is another one. Like if Red Death keeps getting smoked, you cast this, and you can get a reduction per how many times he's left the command zone. Stolen Strategy. This is something else to just mess with people's libraries. You could get in there and see if you can cast something cool. Like you can get a cool instant and sorcery, or anything really, or a creature. If they got a big blocker and you need a blocker, you could just cast that thing. I'm pretty sure, right? You exile the top card of each opponent's library until the end of turn. You may cast spells from among the exile cards. Yeah, you can just cast anything. You just steal whatever they have. So it's pretty sweet. Another big scary card of the deck though is Thousand Year Storm. This card will go nuts, right? Like if you have either Ral's ult, Crackling Wit's ult, or this card on the field, you pretty much are gonna win the game because like you're copying that spell, whatever spell you've cast 1,000,000 times per turn, and it just goes off the rockers after that. So that's pretty much the basis of the deck. It's very fun. Our land base, we're only sitting at 35. It's not that bad due to the fact that we have lots of ways to ramp it out. And our cost is so low. So we have a command tower. We got a Frostboil Snarl. 13 islands. And is it Guildgate? 11 mountains. Otawara for another bit of removal if you need to do that. River Glide or Lava Glide pathway. Shivan Reef, Spire Bluff Canal, Storm Carved Coast, Sulphur Falls, Training Center, and a Volatile Fjord. That's all you got for lands, and it's very nice. Like the mana curve is very low. Like we're sitting at 2 and 3 respectfully in this very well. So it's pretty sweet. The curve is very low. It does a lot of crazy stuff. It's about half and half on red and blue. But the reason why we have less mountains is because our creature gives us a lot more red mana to cast, so we have more islands. But we could start, I guess, doing a playtest, because we do a playtest at the end of the video always. So we'll do what we can. So let's do a playtest with this. So we'll draw for turn. Bam. All right. So we got a Sulphur Falls. So what we'll do? What do we have? We got Frantic Search, Pongify, Pathway, Solve the Equation, and a Row. Okay. So we got a lot going on. So what we'll do is we'll play an island for turn, and we'll go to turn 2. Boom. All right. Sulphur Falls. We'll add Sulphur Falls. We'll tap these 2 for a commander. Red Death. He's out. We got the boy out. He's chilling. So next, we'll go to turn 3. And respectfully, we're just probably going to play this Frantic Search. We got Solve the Equation. We don't have a copy spell yet. So what we'll do is we'll play a pathway. Why not? It doesn't matter what side. And we're going to play. Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll tap 3, and this is by turn 3. We'll goad somebody's creature, and they'll draw a card, and that way they don't swing that creature at us. And we'll play Solve the Equation. And what we'll do is we'll go through the library, and then let's see, where is it? View all. And what we're gonna grab is Mana Geyser. We're gonna get that for sure. Where is Mana Geyser? Because that's what we want. We want Mana Geyser. It's not like too strong of a deck, but it is fun as hell to play. If we can find it. Okay, there's Mana Geyser. We revealed it. We shuffled this, shuffle library, and we put this Mana Geyser in our hand. So now we're chilling. So this goes to the graveyard, and now we go to turn 4. Easy peasy. We just keep getting land. Now we want to start drawing some cards, because, man, you know, it's time. So what we're going to do is we're going to tap him, go to another creature, get us a red. Tap this and tap this to cast Frantic Search. So we're going to draw 2 cards. Boom, boom. Got a Mind Splice Apparatus and Shivan Reef. We'll discard Shivan Reef and an island because we don't want that. And we'll untap our lands. So that'll go to the graveyard. And then we're on the fence depending on what we want to do. I think we want to do, yeah, we'll tap 4 for the Mind Splice Apparatus. That was a good hit. So we got a Mind Splice Apparatus on the field. That's good. Perfect, right? And then we'll go to turn 5. Boom. And now we got a little boy here. Nice. So all our instants and sorceries cost 2 less. That is nice. So okay, yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll play an island for turn. And then we're going to tap for a blue and a red. Cast the little otter. Yep, Stormcatch Mentor. We'll get him out here. And he's reducing, so we have 2 reductions right now. So our instant sorceries cost 2 less. So we can cast Mana Geyser for 3, but we don't have our win con yet. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cast Ral. And then what we'll do is tap this and we'll cast a Pongify. We'll Pongify something that they have, they'll get a monkey. And let's say we win the flip. So the flip would be we'll get this guy. We'll get Ral. We'll get Ral Leyline Prodigy. And then what we'll do with an additional loyalty counter for each instant sorcery. So he got one extra loyalty. So has 3 loyalty right now. Then you go. We can just keep reducing our stuff. So he's a good reducer. We also got a little 2/2 otter here, which is nice. So what we'll do is we'll goad something. Yeah, we'll tap him. We'll goad somebody, get some red, and then what we'll do is okay, yep, and then we'll -2 him. To deal 2 damage to a permanent, and then we'll draw a card because we have a blue permanent. So boop, we'll get that. Okay, sweet. So now we're almost set up. We just need one more card to win the game. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and reset. Ral probably will die. Ral set us up to where we need. We'll play a land for turn. And then we'll tap 2 for a Ledger Shredder, which is cool. The only unfortunate part is we don't have a land right now, or we don't have a way to draw cards, which is unfortunate. But what we'll do is we'll be on the defense. We'll tap something that's coming at that would come at us, and we'll goad it so they stay away. And then we'll go to turn 7. Still no way of drawing a card. Wow. Okay, well, we'll do the same thing. We'll play a land. And goad, because out of all the card draws in this deck, we're not getting any. And then we'll go turn 8. And turn 9. Turn 10. Well, the deck sort of went to hell. But, it's usually how it happens. We have copy spells. We don't have a way. We're getting all the copy spells, really. This is crazy. So we got all these copy spells and reducers. So the deck can fizzle, but ultimately you could definitely pop off with this deck. So we'll just we'll restart because damn, that's not usually how it's supposed to go. That's why I don't do the computer freaking generated shit, because it just wears you down. Snap, Ral, Archmage Emeritus, Storm Splitter. Now this is kind of cool. I like this a lot better. Even though it's a 1-land hand, we'll deal another hand. Okay, this is good. Yeah, we'll take this one. All right, let's try this again. So we'll draw for turn. We got a Ledger Shredder too, right off the rip. That's good. Okay, this one is other lands, right? 2 or more other lands. So what we'll do is we'll put this in tap. Boom. We'll go turn 2. We'll play this. And then what we'll do is tap this. Bring our commander out, because our commander is very important. He's there to, give us ramp and keep people away from us. So we'll go to turn 3. Now we have some draw spells, and now we got some stuff we can do. So what we'll do now is we'll play a red. And then I think what we're going to want to do is we're going to play Ashling. Yeah. So we'll tap this. We'll tap Ashling. Or we'll tap all this and play Ashling. So boom, there we go. Ashling's out. Nice. And then we'll go to turn 4. Boom. Okay, nice. 2 or fewer other lands. Ew. So we'll play Shivan Reef. Cool. And then what we'll do is we'll tap Red Death, goad somebody's creature. And then we'll tap this for Rowan. It's pretty sweet. And then I think it's instant and sorcery, right? Yeah. Okay. We'll cast one. We'll tap one red for a faithless salvaging. So we'll have a trigger with Ashling first. So we'll draw a card, then discard a card. So we'll discard this one. We don't want it. And then we're gonna do the faithless salvaging, which is discard a card, then draw a card. Which is, to be honest, I don't know what I should get rid of at this point. Probably Consuming Tide, and draw a card. Nice, awesome. So we're just sifting through our library to make sure we're good to go. And then after that, we'll +1 Rowan to deal 3 damage to everybody. So that's pretty sweet. Yep. And then we'll go to turn 5. Boom. We got a Pongify as well. That's good stuff. Okay. So we'll play another red for sure. And then there's so many options right now of way we can win the game or try or just make our presence known. Ultimately, you could play anything right now and just pop off. With this one Pongify, you could do a bunch of crazy shit. So we could just tap Red Death, tap this, and this for colorless to play Burgie. And then what we could do is we could tap this for no, yeah, we'll tap this first. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll cast the Ledger Shredder. We'll get a red, and then we'll tap this for blue and cast a Pongify. And then we'll Pongify something they have, and we're gonna have so many triggers on the stack. So we're gonna have a Ledger Shredder trigger, a Burgie trigger, and an Ashling trigger. So what we're gonna do is first we'll go in the order. We'll have Ledger Shredder Connive, which will be he draws a card, discards a card. If it's not a land, he'll get a +1/+1, which is kind of crap. We don't want to. We don't need an Izzet Guildgate, so we'll put that in the grave. So he won't get a +1/+1 counter. We'll get a red mana from that, and we'll draw a card with Ashling, which is another land. Unfortunate. We're just getting rid of them. Get them out of here. But you can see that there's a lot of value with the deck. It's not a super high-powered deck, but it's fun. And that's the deck in the nutshell. It's a lot of fun, but you're always doing something on all your turns. Like, you get this freaking card right here. We just got a 1,000-Year Storm right off the deck, which is pretty sweet. And we would definitely -4 Rowan by this time. And we cast a freaking 1,000-Year Storm. That would be our turn. And we get red mana for it, and we could do all kinds of stuff. But all we have is a counter spell. So Rowan would be gone. And then we'll go to turn 7. But unfortunately, we're sitting tight because our draw spells are going to shit. So we're looking threatening, but we're not really threatening at all. So you'd have to wait about... Okay, there you go. You'd have to wait 2 or 3 more turns by manipulating people and do a little bit of politics until you cast like a Mizzix Mastery. Overloaded, which would be crazy. So at this point, you have an overloaded Mizzix Mastery. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 mana. Well, no, you'd have to have 7 mana. So you wouldn't be able to well, you would be able to overload it because you would have had Fire Diamond the turn prior. So yeah. So you would overload that shit, and then you could just cast all these cards back. You could cast Pongify. You can cast Faithless Salvaging and Consuming Tide, and just start blasting people, right? You can Pongify a lot. Faithless Salvaging, you could storm out multiple times just to draw your cards. You would save that one for last. So it would be pretty sweet. that's the deck, though, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed it. This deck is a lot of fun. It does a lot of manipulation and a lot of sifting through the deck. It's fun as hell. I enjoy playing it. I have a lot of fun. It wins a lot, just because it catches people off guard. Because usually you're just playing passively, trying to figure out how your game plan is going to go to get stuff in your favor, right? So it's been a relatively long video, but I just want to break these decks down for you guys, so you guys are, you know, feeling the vibe and you know, kind of smelling what I'm stepping in. You know what I'm saying? So that's the deck. It's called Look Into His Eyes. It's my Is It Politics Spellslinger deck. It has a lot of ways to keep drawing cards and creating some mischief. So it's a lot of fun, and I hope you guys enjoy this deck tech and look forward to next week. There'll be another one. So without further ado, I am the Deck Doctor, Grim Reaper, and I'm here to create some cool, amazing commander decks that you guys will enjoy. But anyway, y'all have a great one, and I'll see y'all next week. Peace.